Good morning, people of the vinyl community. I'm here with my next edition of 10 Perfect Albums. And just like the first one, if you haven't watched it, basically this is excluding any EPs, any compilation albums, no live albums, and limiting this to one per band. So, I went through the process last night of picking which ones were going to be the 10 in this list. The first video was like about like 8 months ago, July 11th. So a lot of the stuff that's probably in this video now wasn't in the collection then. So I try not to repeat any bands from the previous one, just to kind of spread it out a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and get into it. So the first one is Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. Originally out in '76. Favorite songs off of this would be Jailbreak, Warriors, Boys Are Back in Town, Cowboy Song, which is my absolute favorite Thin Lizzy song, Emerald. Just a great album. Next one up would be Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, released in 81, I think. No, 82. 82 or 83, somewhere in there. But favorite tracks on this one, Looks That Kill, Bastard to me is a great one, Danger, Too Young to Fall in Love, 10 Seconds to Love, Knock 'Em Dead Kid's a really great song too. I know that Connor Morgan showed Rainbow, I believe, in his, so I went with a different one and went with Long Live Rock and Roll, which is actually my favorite of the Dio era for Rainbow. Lady of the Lake, LA Connection, Gates of Babylon, great songs. Kill the King, which is my favorite. Rainbow Eyes. Kill the King is my favorite Rainbow song, period. This one out in I don't remember the year. I want to say 76 or 77. Way off, 78. That was kind of close. And by the way, just because that is the album that I show doesn't mean it's the only perfect album I think that the band has. I think there are quite a few bands out there that have multiple perfect albums. This is my favorite Motorhead album, Overkill. Originally released in 1979. You've got the title track, Stay Clean. Capricorn's a great song, No Class, Damage Case, Tear You Down. Just a great effort from them. Wish I could get a hold of some original copies of Motorhead's discography, but anybody who does have any of those out there are not selling them for any kind of cheap. Next up, Diary of a Madman, Ozzy Osbourne. In my opinion, the best of the two that Randy Rhoads was on. Sadly, this was the last recording he would do. Recorded at the same time as Blizzard of Oz, but was released a year later in 1981. Favorite tracks on here would be Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, Believer, my overall favorite song on this album, and of course the title track, Diary of a Madman. Just excellent stuff from Randy Rhoads. Next up, so people probably wouldn't figure this to be in my perfect albums list, but Twisted Sister Stay Hungry, their third record. I think this is a perfect album. I mean, apart from the obvious hits, but Burning Hell for me is a great one. Hortaria, The Price is, you know, a pretty good ballad. The Beast, SMF, Burning Hell. I don't think there's a weak track on this album. And this was 83, nope, 84. I was close. Trying to do my best without looking at these. I'm going to take this next one out of the sleeve because the sleeve, or the plastic, because it and the sleeve are in pretty bad condition. Errol Smith, Toys in the Attic. And this record has seen a lot, or the cover has seen a lot better days. This was from 1975, but favorite songs on here would be Uncle Salty, Adam's Apple, Big 10-inch record, which was a cover. I mean, just all of them. Sweet Emotion, No More, No More. This is a great. I don't think you go wrong with any of the 70s era Aerosmith. I almost picked a different one, but I felt I would leave it possibly for another video. This next one was actually the very first one I thought of to add in this, and that is Exodus, Fabulous Disaster, which is my favorite of the Zetro era. Favorite songs on here, Like Father, Like Son, Corruption, Verbal Razors, Toxic Waltz, Last Act of Defiance, Fabulous Disaster, great record. This was originally out in late 80s. I don't know if it's going to say on here. Way too much small writing. I want to say it's like 88 or so. Next up, we go Black Sabbath, but with the Dio era, Heaven and Hell, 1980. Neon Nights, Heaven and Hell, Die Young, Children of the Sea, Lonely as a Word, Wishing Well. I mean, great record. First one they did with Dio on vocals. And I was lucky enough to find an original copy. And last but not least, Highway to Hell, AC/DC, 1979. Favorite songs on here, Shot Down in Flames, If You Want Blood, Touch Too Much, Beating Around the Bush, Walk All Over You. I mean, it's not my favorite AC/DC album, but I actually think in the early catalog they had probably about 3 or 4 perfect albums, I think. So that is volume 2 of 10 perfect albums. Hope you enjoy, and maybe hope to see somebody else respond to the thread. Thank you, and God bless.